6:05, welcome to week 1 announcement. I am going to jump right in because I think we do have a bit to get through. You'll have bad times, but it'll always wake you up to the good stuff you weren't paying attention to. And that's from Good Will Hunting. And I do like that quote because we all know that there's hard times right now. Middle of a pandemic, and education it's bonkers right now with not only the learning issue, but the social and the cultural issue of everybody blaming everybody for everything under the sun that's going wrong in schools or going right in schools. So there are bad times, but sometimes we dwell on that so much and we don't think about or realize all the good and amazing things that can be happening, in education right now. I don't think as an educator or a teacher or an administrator, there's been so much learning going on in our industry than there has been in the past 12 months. And that sounds silly that we're not always learning, but we've definitely not learned at the rate we have over the last 12 months. And it is exhausting, but it's also exciting. So I don't know. I just love that quote, and I think it's really appropriate for the times right now. So let's jump into week 1. I'm going to go through the announcement table for week 1 quickly, and then we'll bounce around a little bit. So time management is a big deal. The first project's not due till week 4, but there's a lot of work to be done between now and then. You make sure, and I mentioned that in the welcome video, if you're not using the writing template, make sure you use it, because that's just going to make it so much easier. It says use MS Word for all submissions. It is a Google Doc. Once again, you can download that as a PDF and upload it if you're someone who likes to work in Google Docs, or you can work in Word as well. Weekly reflections we're going to talk about in detail in just a minute here. So some tasks for week 1. I didn't put this on a bullet point, but first, if there was anything in your final submission from 580 that you needed to revise, I would recommend doing it this week just so it's out of the way. If you didn't use the template, or if you had some APA issues, or you didn't put in a table of contents, or your headers, do that work now so it's out of the way. So you don't forget. Once again, I mentioned it in the welcome video. Running heads, I said put them on. I was wrong. That changed just recently. And so you can delete those off there. No one lost any points over that. Not a huge deal. But week 1 tasks, you could start gathering some baseline data if that's something you need to do. Putting out your observations or your surveys or collecting artifacts. Develop participant identifiers. So if you need to make up names or assign random numbers or letters or things of that nature. Work on chapter 2. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a minute. And then your weekly reflections. So the text for this week, obviously, there's that capstone handbook, which has been really, really helpful and resourceful as far as I can tell from the feedback I've gotten from everyone. Chapter 3 in the Bassett text, review 7 and read 8 and 9 in the Efron text. It's just going to help frame the work you're doing over the next couple weeks. No articles or videos. So let's jump into the discussion post. You have 2 this week. Most weeks you have 1. There's a couple weeks that you do have 2. So the reflection journal entry is going to be one that's consistent and happening throughout the whole course. And I believe I showed you, and I'll pull it back up here in a minute, the document template that you could work in. But so consider, during the weeks that students review the literature and collect and analyze data, you'll complete a personal journal. Reflection will consider such things as past experiences, problems, how you're understanding things, how you improved, that sort of good stuff. You may also include a 1 to 2 paragraph update on the progress. And so this is part of, this is the prompt. It's real short, but that's why we are framing it. And like I said, if I bounce to the capstone resources, which is there's so much information in here, there's going to be a lot of things in here, but it's going to be really important for you to spend some time going through this. And right here is that journal entry. This is going to become an appendix to your capstone project. What I recommend doing is file, make a copy, and then it's yours. And then you could type your journal reflection right in these boxes and then copy and paste it into the discussion post. So that's a helpful tool for you. Week 1, discussion 2 is introduction of research. So initial thoughts on your title, an overview of the topic, your expected findings, and questions you're going to have. This question spawns a lot of discussion because it really is a brief summary of your entire project, and I've actually seen a lot of students that the information they get back from this actually helps craft their abstract as well. So that's discussion 2. Content for next week. So we're looking ahead real quick here before I talk about a couple other things. You're going to have 2 chapters, 2 discussion questions, no assignment. Your first assignment is due in week 4. And so you must complete assignment 2 to complete assignment 1. So you have 4 weeks to do that. So let's take a quick look at those. So here is assignment 1, and this is peer review. So what you're going to have to do is put chapter 2 drafts are due to the discussion board for the retrieval of your paper no later than Thursday on week 4. I highly recommend getting it up there no later than Monday just to give people time. The review of your peers' work is due no later than Sunday, week 4. So this is going to be where you're getting more peer review information, and I'm not going to read all of this. You guys can read, the links are there. But here is the rubric. So they provided feedback, and then you've taken that feedback and you made those changes. So they provided quality constructive feedback with literature review and with word choice and sentence structure. So it's just like the typical grading rubric, but it's based off of peer review. And then the next one is literature review. And so once again, I'm not going to make you watch a video of me reading your assignment document, but go through and really, after reading, it breaks it down really well. Look at the rubric. I know everybody loves getting perfect scores, right? It's more about the learning than the perfect score, but I went through a master's program as well, and I know how that is. And so this is what we're trying to get to over here, the 10-point side over on this side. And so after reading through this and start working on those assignments, if you have questions, as always, please reach out. And so that is week 1. Like I said, there's no assignments due till week 4. It's a little sneaky because there's a lot of work to be done between now and week 4 to get that. And so I will be trying to check in with you guys, probably via text. You'll be getting more text from me this class than you did in the previous class, just to check in with you and see how it's going. So anyway, have a great week 1. Once again, I'm really excited to be part of your last 8 weeks here at Concordia, and let's make every week count.